And we are back, and welcome to part 2 of the eSportsMonies show, episode number 1. Now we're going to be going over something that I am much more prepared for. We're going to be going over a game where Attacker plays Kunkka. If you're not familiar with Attacker, Attacker is arguably the best Kunkka player in the world. He might have played Kunkka more than any player currently in the scene. So he's pretty quality. He does a lot of things and plays the hero in a way that's really unique to me. And then again, I'm a player that doesn't play a heck of a lot of Kunkka, and I don't play a lot of mid, but I watch a lot of Kunkka and I watch a lot of mid. So he's pretty unique. He's pretty cool. A lot of the stuff he does. So we're going to be watching a relatively short, I believe it's around 30 minutes long, game of his. Not sure if I will watch all of it, but I do have a few notes that I want to bring up before we start the game to think about. His Battle Fury timing, he always goes phase into Battle Fury. Battle, phase, Battle Fury. And he gets his Battle Fury between 12 and 14 minutes, depending on the game. And he always goes mid with the hero. He gets his next item at between 16 and 18 minutes, and that is always a Blink Dagger. Always a Blink Dagger. And his last item is a Daedalus that happens between 22 and 28 minutes, depending on the flow of the game, etc., how good his farm is. It's whatever. So, we are going to go ahead and get right into this Kunkka game. And switched.
Admiral Kunkka.
Also, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Huey Freeman, 1098. There's actually a video of me on YouTube playing a game against players, like playing, I believe it was just an unranked game of All-Pick. And there's a VOD on my YouTube channel. It's one of my, I don't know, it's not that recent. I think it was from June, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. I can post the link in here later on, if you still want it. It's hard for me to stream gameplay right now because my internet cuts out occasionally, which is also why I'm recording all of this to my computer as I'm streaming it live. So, let's go ahead and take a look at an Attacker's build. Attacker starts out with 2 Iron Branches, a Stout Shield, the wonderful Gauntlets of Strength, and 4 Tangos. So, that's all of his gold. I really like the Gauntlets of Strength because the 3 Strength, it gives you more tankability, but it also gives you that little bit of extra damage, which is nice because you combine that with Tidebringer, and you don't really need a Quelling Blade on this hero to last hit really efficiently. And again, the stream will lag occasionally, it will come in and come out, but it should be completely lag-free on the VOD, saving to my computer, and they'll be uploaded to YouTube as soon as this game's over. Or as soon as the stream's over. Thank you, Akarin, for finding that like and game. I see that. Alright, so I hate this pop-up shit. Is there any way I can keep that pop-up shit like up instead of like having to adjust it? I think the replay viewing system used to be a lot better. Anyway, so Attacker's just, you know, here doing his basic mechanic stuff. One thing, I hate this viewing system. There's something fucked here. So anyway, something I really want to point out first is that Attacker didn't skill anything up until he got to the mid lane, and this reason is the little bit of, well, the X marks the spot's kind of useless, but there's kind of a debate between whether you want to grab Torrent or Tidebringer if you're walking to your middle lane. Like, in the event that there's like a weird fight, like at level 1, before the creeps even spawn, then you'd rather have the Torrent in most situations because it's a pretty big AoE stun and slow and a little bit of damage too. I mean, it's like 120? Yeah, it's 120. So it's pretty solid. But regardless, generally speaking, you want to get Tidebringer level 1. The only reason that you wouldn't immediately level Tidebringer at the start of the game is because you were a little bit confused about maybe whether or not you were going to... Like, if the only reason that you would level Tidebringer level 1 without waiting to see what's going on in the lane before picking it would be if you were just worried about forgetting it, or it's overwhelming to pick a skill after the game's already started. Okay, so moving right along, we have Attacker just getting a little bit of CS. He's getting harassed relatively hard here, but he's not really worried about it at all. He's got his Tango up. He's a pretty tanky hero. He's got 2 starting armor. Now check this out. I really like this. He almost catches him here. and now he has to be afraid. Like, this is a Huskar. This is a Huskar with Burning Spear. Like, let me explain kind of what just happened as far as lane control goes. The lane was pushed back to here. Attacker got the creeps aggro and walked back here. So when the next wave of creeps came, they would die really quickly, giving attacker level 2 before Huskar got level 2, and making it so attacker is now a lot scarier. Now, let us continue. Also, I want to point out that attacker has, like, the most swagged out Kunkka ever. Like, whoa. God, I hate this thing down here. Is there any way that I can change that? God. It's so fucking bad. But it doesn't really make sense for attacker to get too close now. He will do a little bit of harassment, and I believe he picked up a last hit by using that torrent there. Another thing, he is going to be maxing Tidebringer by level 7, and I think that is the correct decision 99.9% of the, like 99% of the time you want to level like Tidebringer by level 7. Tidebringer is just, it's one of the most awesome skills in Dota. It's just always good. And you don't have to be good to use it. It helps if you're good when you use it, but it's just an awesome skill regardless. More last-hitting power, free cleave, enemy harassment the whole time. I mean, look how low this Huskar is. This Huskar started off by zoning out attacker like decently hard, but attacker just pulled the creep wave back and then got an advantage, and now attacker is actually feeling probably a lot more comfortable than like Huskar is. Huskar does have a good bit more regen though. However, Kunkka will be picking up his bottle momentarily. And Huskar can now send the illusions to do a little bit of harassment, but it won't matter too much. Attacker can just back up a bit if he needs to. There will be a gank roaming to try to pick off attacker here, but not a heck of a lot going to happen. And a perfect torrent is landed, damaging the silencer. He's not going to be able to get the kill, but that's still very, very, very impressive. And it's not just, it's almost like Pudge, where you have to predict where the enemy's going to be, and you have to know you have to have a feel for the exact time of torrent, which is one of those things that is kind of difficult to practice because attacker is just so much better at Conquer than anyone else. He does have his bottle now, so it's 3 minutes. He's got the same items he did 3 minutes ago, except now he has a bottle at 65 gold. I don't think there's anything else in his stash, etc. So going through a little bit of harassment around the tower.
Bottom tower is under attack.
That Tidebringer is just so strong. And here's another thing that I want to point out really, really quickly. And God, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta like puff on this vape for half a second here. And fuck it, I'm gonna get real personal with you guys. Getting personal? We're personal now. So if you use X marks the spot, and the X marks the spot's level 2, and you immediately torrent someone, you're gonna blow them sky high. You use X, then torrent, you're always gonna land it. If you immediately do this and X is level 2. So then you have to ask yourself, why is he not getting 2 points in X marks the spot relatively early? It looks like he's just gonna max Tidebringer, max torrent, and get his ult to 6, 11, and 16. And the reason that he's doing this is because it's only it's a good increase in the slow duration, but the damage increase isn't that crazy as far as the way it scales, etc. But one of the big things is that Kunkka is super mana dependent, and X marks the spot costs 80 mana, so you could cast. Let me do some math here. God, watch out. You could cast X marks the spot 3 times, and X marks the spot. It's not that powerful of a spell. You can cast X marks the spot 3 times. Or you could cast Torrent twice, which is, that's huge. That's crazy. That's actually crazy, guys. Okay, so returning back to the game. Both of these heroes have to be a little bit afraid of each other because of Huskar's innate tank ability and the fact that Kunkka's really good with his Tidebringer, and it's also... I mean, everyone knows the name Attacker. If you see a guy named Attacker playing Kunkka and you're in relatively high MMR, you should probably be kind of afraid. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Invis rune now. His courier is bringing him brown boots, so it's 420, and he's got bottle, brown boots, plus his starting items. So that's around 1,000 gold in 430, which is not that great, but it is not that terrible either. GPM, Kunkka is at 251, so yeah, that's, I was going to say, about 1,000 gold over the course of 4 minutes. It's about 250. But he is playing mid, he is laning against a Huskar. And overall, like, the Huskar should be feeling way less comfortable than the Kunkka, because Huskar is going to scale off a lot faster than the Kunkka is. The Kunkka is going to be relevant the whole game. Does have that sweet, sweet gun sword thing. And Kunkka will go ahead and use the Invis rune. He will burn the whole combo here, and he does get the kill. Let's go back. Can we go back 10? Did that really just happen in 10 seconds? Okay, 10 seconds. Land the torrent and the boat. And the advantage of the Invis rune is, if you see him right here, if you see the enemy here, when Huskar is right here, go ahead and rewind this one more time. Okay. You see Huskar is right in here. And the torrent is right around here. It's a little bit more difficult to see because you have the boat coming in, etc. But you see that Huskar is mid-last hit, and a second ago he had a creep next to him, which would have made it harder for him to maneuver around. Plus you have the Invis rune, so he's not expecting you to pop him. Once you land the torrent, if you know the length of the boat, he's dead. He's dead. The stun on the boat is huge in addition to the damage. Huskar tries, uses the salve, he gets nothing. Good day, sir.
Thanks to you.
Attacker will be clarityed up now, sitting in the mid. Razor thinking about doing a little bit of tower damage, and nothing really important going on there. But as you can see, this game's a lot more favored in the side of our hero this match compared to our last analysis. And Huskar is back in the mid lane. However, there was a friend for Attacker a moment ago, so he could have got picked off there. He won't be just yet. He is going to continue to be harassed, though, and he's just made a big mistake because Razor has showed up, which means that Huskar has no damage. Very, very strong play against the Huskar. Visage is only level 3. Attacker now level 8. Huskar sitting at level 6. Attacker is starting to ball out of control a little bit.
Radiant structures are fortified.
The rum might save him? The rum will save him. The rum will save him. That's another thing. If you're running away and you're near one of your towers, just throw the boat a little bit behind the tower and run. So while the enemy's tower diving, you get the buff of having extra health, and they also are going to get hit by your boat if they chase. And later on in this game, we will see Attacker do that. Attacker now has his phase boots and his bottle, and we're looking at 357 GPM in 7 minutes. So his GPM is increased by about 100. Not too hard to do considering the game is relatively early, but still a very good position for him. That second kill on Huskar didn't get Attacker a whole lot, but it took away a lot from the Huskar, which inadvertently means that Attacker now has more space. I will switch back to free camera again. Mirana ulti is up, and this is the thing about Kunkka that makes him so great. If you see people in these tight spots, he can just come in and burn all his cooldowns and kill them all. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to right now because everyone's pulling back a bit. Looks like he will not. But enemy team is a little bit afraid, despite having nearly killed everyone on the Radiant team or on the Dire team. But so they back up. Kunkka's got a little bit more space. could push here if he wanted to, but he's not sure about the positioning of his enemies, so he's going to be a little bit more nervous.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And I think now he realizes there's no one there, and he's totally fine. Will be a clock rocket coming in to harass him a bit. However,
Radiant's top tower.
attacker is very, very close. And that is just brilliant. And this is something you can do with a Marana arrow, is if you see someone TPing in and they're not TPing directly onto the tower, you can just fire the arrow, and if you time it out correctly, you'll hit it every time. And the same goes for Kunkka's boat, or Kunkka's torrent. You can miss it sometimes because maybe there's a lot of people that just TP'd and it takes too long, or you just whiff it. But in general, it's really, really strong, and it's not very hard to pull off. And now Silencer's in kind of a horrible position because attacker, it says silence, but he's got his Tidebringer up in a second, and he just got hit by the torrent, so he's half health, he's slowed, he's only level 3, and he's about to get motorboated. So he will not dodge the boat. However, attacker will probably fall here. No, he's totally fine. Clockwork went alone. And that's the thing about, like, attack people. Kunkka's a hero that's super, super strong in a lot of situations people don't realize, because the hero, even though he's good and even though he's relatively popular, he's not as popular as he could be. And now we're looking at a Kunkka dominating the GPM at 496, at GPM at 8 minutes and 55 seconds, and he's already got his Perseverance. Like, it's crazy. And just to save time, he's sending the courier to the secret shop to pick up the Perseverance so he can get to mid lane faster to continue to farm. One of the things Attacker says about Kunkka is that he finds that the hero is always best in the middle lane. And one of the big reasons for this logic is that the hero's really, 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 really level dependent. It's a hero that does great with farm, but levels are also huge on the hero, and getting the early levels to max out your torrent, to get your ultimate, and to max your Tidebringer just makes you that much more effective. And now you see it coming in. He's going to use the boat in front of him, probably still going to fall here, but he will go down. He's got to go down. He's got to go down. But still, that was... He almost got away there. He almost got away just straight up free when 3 people dived at tier 1 for him. Like, he should have been completely dead. And Visage will go down, but we're not interested in that. We are interested in attacker. Go ahead and speed this up 10 seconds so that we can get back to the attacker Dota faster.
Middle tower got owned. What you gonna do? Get mad or get even?
Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, attacker just TP's in, picks someone he wants. He says, yeah. Now Lifestealer's afraid, but attacker's already out farming to the point where Lifestealer kind of has to be in his toes at all times. Notice how he timed out that Tidebringer perfectly to get both those last hits. Really, really high skill play. I mean, you kind of have to expect it. You're talking about the arguably the best Kunkka player there is.
About to get knocked over.
But he's got that Perseverance, and he's working on his Battle Fury. He's, I want to say, 2,600 gold, so he's got 1,600 gold till he has his Battle Fury. Should be a relatively standard Battle Fury timing. He is going to rotate away from this tower, which is not something I like doing, but he's not as confident about where the enemy position might be. And notice how strong the Tidebringer combined with the Torrent is. It's so good at farming jungle camps, except for Mud Golems. You cannot farm Mud Golems with it. And now we have a Kunkka with a haste rune, which is awful. Sorry, we gotta pause. There's a Radiant Observer ward here. Kunkka thinks he's being sneaky because at some point he saw them run by this ward. So he knows they're in this area. But they have perfect vision on him, so they have the ability to drop everything. So, we're going to go ahead, put it back on Kunkka, go back 10 seconds. So just ignore the ghost both there. Yeah. Immediately, he uses the ultimate to make himself tankier and to deal damage in case his allies show up. This is a moment where attackers should be instantly dead and shouldn't give anything to anyone. Okay, that was a little bit of a misplay. If he had spammed his bottle, he might have lived there. But regardless, black hole going on down here. Lifestealer getting picked off. Not that important. Not as interested in them. We can go ahead and fast forward. Another 3 seconds left, and Tacker back on the field. Tacker now sitting happily at, what's 1,400? Yeah, so he's 1,200 away from his handy-dandy Battle Fury. And even though he's died twice, he's sitting on 60 CS and 3 denies at 13 minutes now. So, not too shabby. Getting some farm.
Yo, Green Goose, something bad is happening.
One of the things you'll notice about the way he plays the hero, though, it's a very, very active way of playing him. He knows exactly how to land the combination perfectly. Knowing how to land the combo on this hero means, at any point in time, if you see someone baiting or you see an initiation, if you get baited and you're playing Kunkka, you can just land the combination perfectly, kill the person that's baiting you, and you can escape before they can revenge kill you. Very, very strong. And just wandering about. I've really got to find some other system than this fast forward bar. It's really horrible. It's so horrible. Cannot stand it, boys. Cannot stand this bottom bar. Surprised he didn't deny that, but it does not matter. There will be an initiation in the bottom lane, and something you'll notice about like a difference between the way I play my heroes and the way attacker plays his is he immediately gets himself into a position where he knows he'll be able to fight soon. However, he has to back off. And that's one of the reasons why I personally wouldn't have gone to that sort of fight, because if you just lose straight up, I mean, he was going to be so late it wouldn't be relevant. But he's scary enough to scare people away, and now he has a DD and a Battle Fury, plus his Tidebringer. So he's going to be hitting pretty hard. Surprised, yep, now he's burned the DD. Yeah, a lot of damage is going to be coming out. I think he should have stayed and hit longer. He's done. Still a lot of damage. We're talking about a Kunkka that got a like 14-30 minute on the Battle Fury, so relatively late Battle Fury, but still faster than anything I think I could whip up taking a Kunkka mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna go ahead and speed it up because I only really care about what Kunkka's doing this game. And he is watching and waiting. You can see they're playing a very, very aggressive style despite having similar carry potential in their team to the enemy team. They're being really, really, really aggressive. And it looks like Attacker's screwed, and he probably is, but he still did a lot of damage. Oh, the BKB from the Lifestealer preventing that stun. That was a very, very good play from Rubik regardless. Very high skill play from both of these players. Go ahead and fast forward this up. Fast forward this up. Oh, I'm not reading that upside down writing. Oh, Robot Llama, you don't actually have to like ignore or ban him. He's actually my teammate on the JDL, or at least he stands in for us sometimes. Just casually going for that Roshan. Let's speed this up a little bit. Speed it up a little bit more. Take us back over here. Now it's 17 minutes and 45 seconds. Kunkka's got his Aegis. He's got a, what I believe is a Blink Dagger coming in the courier. Nope. Where is his Blink Dagger? Will be running a little bit late because it's 18 minutes and he still hasn't picked it up yet. It's turn on Hero Chase on the Kunkka. I like Hero Chase. Sometimes I don't like Hero Chase, but I'm going to easy mode this one out for a minute.
Yo, Green Goose, something bad is happening.
And Kunkka's completely comfortable here because if they try to push in, if they pick off the Kunkka, he's got Aegis. If you don't pick off the Kunkka, in this... Sorry. We're going to take a little look at something real quick. Free camera. It's not free camera. I'm sorry. So, we can see on the minimap before... Rewind 10 seconds. We can see on the minimap before, we've got all of these dudes down here. These guys came from this area, and they have a dire ward right here. So, they're pretty confident that the only places that they could come from, or the only places that the Radiant team can wrap around from, is here, if they were to do that, or just go for a standard sort of defensive play right here. So, if attacker gets caught out and dies, he's got his Aegis. If you don't stunlock him and kill him as soon as you see him, he's going to be able to blow off all of his cooldowns right here. And the way it's looking, everyone on the Radiant team that's coming to defend this tower will be in this like weird sort of bottlenecky position right here that's really easy for attacker to just level. So, moving right along, let's go back and see that wonderful, beautiful, satisfying team fight. The boat comes in, doesn't do a heck of a lot, a little bit off the mark, but doesn't matter at all. Kunkka's at full health and he still has his Aegis, so this fight here should be the last nail in the coffin.
Good dude's bottom just fell off.
Will this land? Would've.
Yo, Green Goose, something bad is happening.
And now the game is essentially over. Attackers secured his team a pretty substantial lead, sitting on 550 GPM. Oh, that was a perfect X marks the spot into the arrow, too. Into the arrow torrent. But yeah, that is essentially the attacker way to play Kunkka. This is a style that is very, very different from the way that I play all of my heroes. This is a style that has a really, really, really strong focus on being active at all points in the game, leveling your torrent first so that you can do that early sort of blast thing. You can be overconfident, not overconfident, but you can be really confident to step it up. And then, I'm trying to think what the other thing was. It's a build where you build the Battle Fury, and you build almost like you're a farm. Like you get the Battle Fury and you do farm a bit, but it's more or less you're farming lanes and always being on the lookout for fights. You play the hero in a way... Kunkka's not a hero that has to be that fighter all the time. He's a hero that can AFK farm and do a lot with those items. But the thing that Attacker has really shown as being probably the greatest expert on the hero, he says 90+% of the time he builds the exact same way. The same way someone like me builds my Lycan. I find the build that I think is the best way to play the hero, and that's the only way I do it. And so Attacker does this sort of style and this sort of build every game with the hero. And the thing that makes it so strong is that if you get really good at landing Torrent and really good at landing... If you get good at landing all of his spells correctly, then whenever your spells are off cooldown, if you're farming, you see a fight on the map, you can get to that fight as fast as possible, and as long as you're at least sort of the same level in farm as everyone else, maybe a little lower, but preferably around the same, you can burn all your cooldowns and blast down the entire enemy team. We've seen multiple times during this game how Attacker should have died. He should have just died straight up, and most of the times that I say he should have died, he did die. But he did a lot of damage. He either got a kill, or he lowered the health on the enemy team to next to nothing on 2 or 3 players. Every time that Clockwork hooked him, all he did was throw up a torrent and bottle himself, and Clockwork was toast. So, just some thoughts on how to play Kunkka. It's a way to... He plays the hero mid. He always rushes Bottle into Brown Boots, into Phase Boots. Then he gets the Battle Fury between 12 and 14 minutes, the Blink between 16 and 18, and the Daedalus between 22 and 28 minutes. So, This is Attacker's Kunkka. I'm not gonna give you guys the. I mean, I'm not gonna watch like the Ancient get destroyed because really, who gives a shit? The game's over. I'm not beyond the sum. I don't have to do that. So let us switch back over. I've got a hotkey for this, but I don't necessarily know if I trust it. Hotkeys. Yay, hotkeys! So, I really enjoy doing this sort of thing, and I've been wanting to do more live stuff, just as opposed to all the YouTube stuff that I'm currently doing. And of course, all my live stuff will be going on YouTube. It's kind of the point. So, I would like to do this show, admittedly in a more prepared way, finding a replay and doing a lot more work into it. I'd like to start doing this 3 days a week. I don't know if I have the knowledge base or the replay base to do it 3 times a week, but I'm going to try doing this 3 times a week. So, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this coming week at 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, or 6 in the afternoon for most of Europe, I'll be doing this show. I won't be doing it as long as what we did today. It'll be between 20 minutes and an hour, most likely, so probably around 30-40 minutes every week, or every day, 3 days a week. And I'm only going to go over one hero on one replay for one player that I really like what they're doing. I think that they're good at what they're doing. I think they're underrated or etc. or just really good. And sorry, I just saw something on chat I'll get to in a second. And then I'm also thinking about doing a podcast, and that would be a Sunday night thing. And if I did, one person that I play in my joint DotA League with, I've already I feel like would be a very good fit for the podcast. For if you're still watching Robot Llama, I'm referring to Winter. I would really like I like his input on a lot of things. And then Fridays at 5 o'clock, I'm thinking about doing a more unique series, and that will be, I'm going to call it Story Time, and it's just going to be this setup, camera on me talking, and I'll be speaking about, it's kind of like a vlog, but it's going to be very focused on a specific topic within Dota or within competitive gaming. So, thank you guys for watching. When this goes off, I will start uploading the VODs to YouTube immediately. Sorry if it seemed a little bit unprepared, a little bit impromptu. I've been very busy, of course, but it should be easy for me to get one replay, watch it, analyze it, and think a lot about it over the course of a week. So, or three a week. So, if you have replays, or if you know of good players that only play one hero, or players that are known for playing a very limited pool of heroes, you can tweet at me, you can leave comments on this video when you watch it on YouTube, if you're watching this VOD on YouTube, etc. Also, lastly, you can find, no, it's not Winter, it's a guy named Winter that plays on my JDL league, or on my JDL team. Lastly, you can find me on Twitter at eSportsMonies. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/MacX10 if you're watching this on YouTube. And you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/MACKCOWANII. The YouTube is linked in the bottom of my Twitch stream, and my Twitch stream is in the description for all YouTube videos that I post. So, thank you for watching, and now I'm going to answer a few questions, so if you got something better to do, then this is the end of the YouTube video, except for me answering stream questions. So, Side Dive. First question. I'm surprised that you did not mention stacking with torrent stuff. This is not my guide to Kunkka. This is not my guide to playing Kunkka support. Stacking with Kunkka it's cool. Sorry, my nose itches, and I do not know why. It's weird. And I didn't shave. I need to. So, I do not think that it's practical to do that stacking thing with Kunkka. Sorry, I don't know why my nose is itching. To do that stacking deal with Kunkka. And for those of you that don't know, if you stack with Torrent on a creep camp, you can actually stack the camp infinitely. You can stack it an unlimited number of times. You can get like 100 creep stacks. Because when you stack with Torrent, you're actually you're lifting them up and taking them out of the game for like a second. And if you time it correctly, which I can actually make a guide to do, that'd actually be something cool I can make a guide to do. It's really easy to do, to learn to time it right, and you can stack infinitely. But it's kind of impractical because it takes Kunkka so long to do it that you kind of want Kunkka to be in a support role if you're doing this. Support Kunkka's not that great. And you kind of need someone like a Tinker that's really, or an Alchemist that's really good at clearing large amounts of creeps to get it done. So that's why I didn't think it was relevant. I mean you can see that Attacker never did anything like that. So I do not know of any really good Bloodseeker players. I changed up some payment information a little while ago, so I don't have Dota Buff Plus anymore, so I need to renew my subscription on that and see what I can find. I'm sure there's probably one random dude out there that's like crazy good at Bloodseeker. Like, he seems like a popular enough hero that there's probably a few people out there that are just better than everyone else. Do I give any type of coaching or give tips to other players if they ask? I really want to become better at Dota. I do. If you can add me on Steam at eSportsMonies, I will invite you to the guild ESM eSportsMonies guild. So cool. Yeah, I'm actually offline on Steam right now, so that it's not like pop going blue 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 during the stream. So do you do any type of coaching? I don't really do coaching per se. Like, I'll watch a replay for someone and tell people like the way I'll coach, but my style of coaching for the most part is, you come to me with one of like the 5 or 10 heroes that I play a lot, and you say, what do I do here, what do I do here, why is this not working, etc. I can answer those questions. Sometimes a guide isn't enough. Sometimes you have to watch me play a VOD. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you have to ask me questions. That's okay. When you come to me and you say, I can't get Roshan before 12 minutes every game, then I watch your replay, and I'll watch your replay, and I will find why. For example, I had a guy do this with me earlier this week. I will figure out why you're not getting Roshan at 8 or 9 minutes at the latest. There's got to be something wrong with your jungle. So that's a good example of how I sort of go about coaching. No, I don't take any money for it. I don't. I've got like a Dogecoin and like a Bitcoin address on my Twitch thing down there, I think, because I like Dogecoin, I like Bitcoin, I like Litecoin, I like all those little cryptocurrencies. And maybe I'll put, if I ever got big enough, I'd probably put a PayPal donation box down there. But in general, the only money that I get out of any of the things I do in esports are the YouTube ads, Google AdSense checks that I get. And to be completely transparent with that, after 2.5 years, I finally got my first check for, to get a check or to get a payment, you have to make over $100. And I got my first one in June. And I will be getting my second one in September based on my current revenue. And that's showing, it took me 2.5 years to make $100, but it's taken me about 3 months to make my second 100. So at the rate that this is going, it looks like it's worthwhile for me to put in more time, like to do more live streaming shows, because like that's the only way that I really like make any income. All the other stuff I do, coaching people and asking questions and giving advice, those are things that I do just like for fun. Next question. Apex Mine, my 10 best heroes. Don't look at my Dota buff because it probably won't give you a decent description, because I don't practice a lot of the heroes that I used to anymore, because I've generally just played the one carry position to for my JDL team. But Lycan is obviously my best hero and will probably always be. I think followed by Terrorblade. And then after that, I just say they're the heroes that I play. I don't know if I'm any better or worse at them. I'm bad at Nature's Prophet. Like, I'm better than Nature's Prophet. I'm better with Nature's Prophet than most players, but I'm good enough to know I'm bad, and I'm good enough to watch good players and understand that what I do is fundamentally not as good as what they do. But I do play the hero. I do enjoy it, and I think I play the hero at a mid 4K level. I think if I only played Nature's Prophet, I wouldn't hit 5K. I think if I did it with TB, I'd easily hit 5K. With Lycan, of course, I will eventually hit 5K doing that. My MMR is 4,700 for those who don't know. I think... Weaver is on the list now. I've been playing a lot more Weaver. I really enjoy the hero. He's really easy to play. I've been learning him so I can play him safe lane carry for our JDL squad, but I've been playing him off lane mostly in pubs, because pubs don't like you to take him safe lane. They'd rather see you off lane, because in pubs, pub lineups are usually super greedy, especially if they're lower than 4.5k or they're unranked games. They're always really greedy. So they'd rather have you go to the off lane as Weaver and like get a little farm but never die and make a lot of experience, and then have another carry go to the jungle, and then have another carry go to the safe lane, and have another carry go mid. So there's always places for everyone to get farm. So that's why I've had to practice him offlane. My Enigma's sick. I mean, it's not as good as Dylan or Kavatha, one of our teammates, if any of my teammates are currently watching. But, I mean, I can farm really well with him. I can usually bust out a mech by around 7 minutes, so... Yes, feel free to add me at eSportsMonies on Steam. I don't know if there's any way you guys can do this or send me a message or tell me when you add me, because like I'll get like I got 10 ads in 4 days, and 3 or 4 of them were fans from YouTube and Twitch, and the rest were all fucking bots that were like, I give you trade, but you must click link. And I was like... The thing is, I have a Pebble. Like, I don't know if you guys know what a Pebble is. It's like the smartwatch that like connects to your phone via Bluetooth. It's really cool. It vibrates when you get a text. I got it set up so that any push notification vibrates. So I'll be in meetings, like academic meetings, because I'm a senior in college right now. Really old for a senior, I'm 24. But I'll be sitting there, and I'll get a text message from Steam, because I have the Steam app on my phone, and so I'll be sitting in a meeting, like, talking to a teacher, and I'll conversing, and I'll look at my phone kind of distractedly, and there's, I need to trade you this item. And this will happen, the same spam message from the same spam message with the same link will happen from 3 different accounts that I previously added, because I'll add them, they'll be offline, I'll be like, who the fuck is it, I don't care. And then the next day I'll just get like, wham, 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 wham. I'll still keep adding all you guys, though. I'll say hi to you, or you say hi to me quickly, though, so that I know that you're not a robot to get rid of. Let me look at the next question. How often do you really need to forget Necron, Lycan, God, and go BKB Bash? I would say 1.34% of the time. No, really. Seriously, though? Like 1% of the time. Maybe 5. No, like... I don't go Bash on Lycan ever anymore, because I think that the Desolator is better because you can get it early game and it gives you a shitload of damage, and you can split push with it. Like, if you have a Desolator and an AC, instead of the AC and the Necro 3, you can't backdoor shit as quickly, but you can actually backdoor towers and racks and kill them. You need more time to do it than with the Necro 3, but you can do it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't get Basher pretty much ever. The only time I get BKB, like, I don't think Lycan is an appropriate, like, team fighting carry. I think Lycan is just, like, I think he's such a good Wrath that you should never, like, build him team fight unless you absolutely fucking have to. The only time I get BKB is if I'm ratting and there's so much lockdown that I can't even rat, because one person will TP, like a Shadow Shaman will TP and then shackle me, and then Bane's TP will end and he can sleep me, and then Kunkka comes and torrents me, so, like, that's basically when I would get a BKB. And if they have a Bat Ride or anything else that goes to BKB, I won't even bother with it. So it's very, very... It's like 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 games. It's really low. Monster, add me on Steam. I don't check Twitch messages, really. I don't think. Messages... Dear Hero. Oh. There is a gold selling bot hitting me up. Cool. Cool. Wait a minute. Okay, guys. So I just got... Give me a second. This VOD's getting really long. It's 43 minutes long now. I'm going to end this and restart so I can keep talking, and then the YouTube video won't be super fucking long. I should have done this a long time ago. Sorry. Hold on.